Good day, everybody. This is Danny Halmo for EVs Forever, and today's podcast is going to start out with a little video.
This is Danny the Hurricane Halmo with a public service announcement for all you people who love to get out there and enjoy your sports and your great outdoors. We're out here in Saskatchewan yesterday. I'm on a world record run across Canada for the food banks and people with mental disabilities, and we're fighting the four main disabilities. Just about got myself put in a wheelchair on this one, and it's a good thing I was wearing some kind of helmet, but it wasn't my nutcase helmet, and you'll see why I should have been wearing it all along. This is one driver falling asleep at the wheel, another one distracted by his cell phone. Whoa! Oh! Fuck! Fuck! How does the Jubilee Hospital fuck! Whoa! Whoa! Fuck! Fuck! How does the Jubilee
How do you like that one? Pretty graphic, eh? Now, that happened in Cluny, Saskatchewan back in July of 2012 during my first Guinness record run on an e-bike. And so graphically depicts the impact force that occurs at only 32 kilometers per hour, a speed we all very commonly travel through construction sites in, despite the safety people out there. And imagine if you would have hit one of those at that speed, how you would feel or how they would feel. But despite actually wearing a helmet, it was not a correct type, so I still ended up with a cracked helmet, a severe concussion, several post-concussion after effects, 20 stitches, 9 to my head alone, 11 more to my foot, permanent lower back pain, and I actually had to sue myself because I got hit by my own van. So please don't think this could never happen to you. I thought that too. All it takes is one distracted dingbat driving a dually, someone who never had their coffee that morning, like what happened to me that day, a pothole you weren't ready for, a bump in the sidewalk, somebody walking around a corner of a building, some idiot making a right turn in front of you, or some wet leaves on the grass or path, or some other dumbass opening a car door without looking. And then you wake up in a whole nother life, or looking down on your dead body on a slab. You stupid bastard. And all of this is due to the fact that 70 to 80% of all fatal bicycle crashes involve head injuries, and only 18% of all cyclists wear helmets, mostly because they are not mandatory everywhere for people over the age of 18, but they are for minors at least. In addition to that, unfortunately, they are not usually, although they are usually required on e-bikes, they don't always wear them. And it is not always mandatory for adults to wear one on electric scooters either, which as entry-level vehicles are gradually becoming more and more popular and legal to use in many suburban pilot project areas where the government is collecting accident statistics. Technically, they're only allowed on urban streets with no painted lines, but the law is often not enforced, which is sure to add up on the medical healthcare system's bottom line as head injuries start to clog up the palliative care wards because these little shits are dangerously deceptive. They are deceivingly fast, have little or no suspension, and are gyroscopically unstable and twitchy due to the tiny diameter wheels. So I am hoping that police agencies everywhere start enforcing helmet laws on all light electric vehicles by writing these idiots up on the first offense and then registering this warning so they can impound their lethal weapons on the second offense and let them buy it back after 30 days in storage or from the impound auction 90 days later. Similar to how they impound the vehicle of a drunk driver. Because if these fools can afford a $1,000 or $2,000 electric toy to run around on just for fun, they can certainly afford another $25 for a helmet to save us some of the healthcare burden to fix their thick and empty heads. All they ever get from me when they roll up on me riding my Segway on their kick scooter thinking they're cool too, instead of the, yeah, you're cool too nod they seem to expect, all they ever get from me is nice helmet, Einstein. Because the last thing I need on my not exactly street legal Segway is the Mothers Against Dead Drivers calling for more Gestapo enforcement in the gray areas after another one of them idiots gets splattered all over the hood of their car on the front page of the paper. We are the entry-level vehicles to the future, and many of us are already operating our EVs in no man's land where the cops just look the other way, mostly because we are wearing helmets and showing respect for ourselves and those around us and the law, and not driving on the sidewalks. So the last thing we need are those dumb bastards getting hurt because they saw Tom Cruise not wearing one in his last movie. Because these fools either don't think it will happen to them or their balls don't fit. They think they look cool too, doing their own stunts. Or they never thought about how awful hospital food is, about the bullshit costs to the federal medical healthcare system, or that brain injuries don't heal, that post-concussive after effects range from headaches to irritability to fatigue to the inability to concentrate to blurry vision to sensitivity to light to anxiety to bouts of dizziness to insomnia to depression, or finally to overaggressive verbal response to negative stimulation, an actual change in personality, which is what eventually happened to me. Even though I was wearing a helmet, technically, but it was the wrong type, which in many ways was worse, because it cracked and offered limited protection for this type of incident. This is why they have DOT ratings, and all of these symptoms may come and go to varying degrees over the rest of your life. And even though some of these symptoms may fade over time, brain injuries don't heal well and may leave you permanently disabled and in a palliative care facility for the rest of your life. So before you think you are too cool, think about how horrible hospital food is forever. Or the $360 a month for basic cable that you're trying to pay on disability, and the fact that after a year or so, even the best of friends and family will likely no longer visit a semi-coherent vegetable drooling in a wheelchair with a massive headscar over a traumatic brain injury who can now barely communicate verbally while trying to play dominoes all day with your new best friend forever, the cerebral palsy kid from next door, just because he was too stupid or too cool to show some self-respect in advance of his accident. The sad truth is that 75% of all fatal bicycle car accidents would not have been if the cyclist was wearing a simple $25 helmet. So before you think you are too cool to wear a helmet, think first about how cool it is not to, because those who don't think they need to wear a helmet probably don't. This message has been brought to you by the author of my new book, The Ninja Mutant History of Electric Vehicles, and all content is based on subject matter found within it. It is currently available on Amazon in Kindle or paperback form, and I appreciate you stopping by. I'm Danny Halmo. This has been EVs Forever, and I'm not wearing any pants.